Hello everyone and welcome back to Exeter Central. So I hope you're all doing well, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to do basic soldering. Now when it comes to soldering, most people, they finish laying their track and then they get up to the wiring stage, and it can be a bit of a daunting task to undertake because they might not know how to solder, or they've never done soldering before, or whatever. So I'm going to give this video out on YouTube, and hopefully someone will learn from this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comment down below, and I'll answer them as soon as possible. So let's get started. Alright, so in terms of equipment, you're going to need soldering iron, obviously. You'll also need a stand like this one, where it has the soldering iron slot here, and then you'll also need one which has a piece of sponge that you could just wet with a bit of water. The sponge cleans the tip of your soldering iron, basically. So yep, you need those. You'll also need some wire cutters and wire strippers. Solder, obviously. Now there's different types of solder. There's rosin core solder, like what I use, and then there's also 60-40 tin lead solder. And then there's solder which doesn't have flux in it. Now for those of you who don't know what flux is basically a material that you put on your solder area that you're soldering, and it basically helps the solder flow nicely. I prefer to use solder with the flux in it. Just saves me having to buy solder without flux and that kind of stuff. And I'd prefer to use solder with the flux in it. That's just my personal choice. You can use whatever you want, but yeah, that's just my personal preference. You're going to need some wires. One of the most important things is, of course, the third hand or helping hand. These have got many names, depending on where you get it from. These are brilliant. I suggest whenever you start soldering, buy one of these. These will make your life a hell of a lot easier. Certainly made my life a lot easier. I definitely recommend it, and it's just a great thing to have. And you'll need something to test the circuit that you've made. That can be a multimeter or a continuity tester. So if I just, hopefully you can see that okay. There, the LED lights up. Hopefully you can see that all right. But yeah, this tests your circuitry to make sure it all works. So all the equipment aside, let's get started. Alright, so I've got my piece of wire ready to go. I've already cut this off camera. So now I'm just going to go ahead and strip the end. You don't need to strip off too much. Just about 5 mil. Hopefully this will work okay. I don't actually have wire strippers that are small enough to accept this wire. But yeah, so once you've stripped off the end, you want to twist it so that the wires don't fray. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the third hand. Now you'll be able to see why this thing is so good. Hopefully you can see that all right. I'm just going to, there we go. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our solder, and we're going to apply some solder to the soldering iron. And there we go. It's as simple as that. There we go. All tinned up. Easy. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to solder two wires together. Now I've already tinned up this wire, and I did this one off camera, I'm pretty sure. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to tin two wires together. Now there's two ways you can do it. I'm going to show you both ways. So take soldering iron, put a bit of solder on there, and you're just going to solder the two together like that. Oh, didn't work. There we go. All soldered up. Not coming apart. That is a nice strong connection. Now I'm going to show you the other way on how to solder two wires together. Okay, so I'm now going to show you the other way on how to solder two wires together. Okay, so I've gone off camera and I've stripped both ends, but I haven't tinned them. So what you're going to do is you're going to, hopefully this works. So now, basically just twist both wires. Hopefully, don't know why it's not working. You're just going to twist both wires together. There we go. That's as good as I can do. Now you're going to take third hand. Oh, come apart. Oh well. I'm just going to go off camera and twist these together. Okay, so I'm now going to show you the other way. Now, unfortunately my light decided to die. So yeah, so what I've done, as you just saw in the previous clip, I twisted the two together. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your soldering iron, put solder on there, and then just add some solder to the solder join. There you go. And that's basically the other way to solder two wires together. Personally, for me, I prefer the other way, but if you're not good at the other way, then this is a way that you could use. Okay, so I'm now going to show you how to solder your wires to your track. Now here I've just got this piece of Pico Code 100 flex track, and I've cut the sleeper off, and I've just used a file to roughen the underside of the track. It's always a good idea that you do that so that the solder sticks a lot better. So what you're going to do is you're going to now take your soldering iron, put a bit of solder on there, and put that on there like that, and there we go. That's now got some solder on there. Alright, now taking your wire, and what you're going to do is you're going to put an L-shape bend in there like that. There you go. Now just going to take your soldering iron and melt the two together. Alright. There we go. Soldered, not coming apart. Now you can obviously do this same thing to the sides of the track, and it will work the same way basically. So yeah, that's basically how you do soldering. That brings me to a close to this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learnt something from it, and now hopefully you now have an idea on how to do soldering. And let me know down in the comments if this video actually helped you. I'm always open for suggestions, and if you have any ideas of how I could improve, by all means comment down below. I'm always open for suggestions. So that'll be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care guys, and see you in the next video. Bye everyone.